My name is Hilda Oby I'm a founder of the TAN nursery. Before then, we were actually was working in the NGO sector, but we've got a passion for trees and plants, so we established this arboretum.
And I am Oby health communication specialist and theater practitioner, writer, director, and script writer. And I have a passion for trees and plants and the general environment. And so this is how we came together with my wife to set up a TAN tree nursery. TAN Tree Nursery, which is part of Arboretum KaJok'Oby, is in Kisumu County, Seme sub-county. We are about 27 kilometers away from the CBD, Kisumu CBD, along the Kisian-Bondo Road. It's about 3 kilometers down the road towards Dairy Island National Park. And we've got our centers nearby, like Hall Kobonyo, and we've got
a much bigger center on the Kisian-Bondo Road, which is called Holo. And if you drive down that road, then you get to Kombewa. But also, just very close by is the Kitmikai, you know, the famous
UNESCO's cultural heritage site.
Cultural heritage site, yeah.
Arboretum KaJok'Oby was set up when we set up our home, which was like 10 years ago now, around the end of 2014 into 2015. Now, when we built our home here, we decided to also plant trees, and our major focus was indigenous trees. And so the trees have characterized our home and actually have become a main feature. And that is why we call it Arboretum KaJok'Oby, with indigenous trees and flowers, which Hilda knows a lot more than I do.
So yeah, about 10 years ago, but the Arboretum and the TAN nursery actually have taken form in since 2023. That's when we established and did the construction, the shade of the TAN nursery. But Arboretum, we've kept on, you know, planting the trees, so it has been a continuous process since about 2015.
Yeah. Now, the idea of setting up the Arboretum actually came as a passion, because we both have a passion for trees. And so when we set up our home, we decided that we were going to have lots of indigenous trees as a way of bringing back to common knowledge some of these trees that had faded off because people had indiscriminately cut down the trees. So that's what the Arboretum was all about.
So initially, when we decided to set up a home here, this place was actually a farm. They're just planting groundnuts and dengus. So it was bare. So we decided we are going to set up a place that is going to have trees so that the home is cool. But we also were a learning site before then. So we had to do things that are, you know, in line with developing a learning site. And then it was also a place where we could also grow our own food. So, you know, and we believe that food also comes from trees, not just crops. So we also put trees, fruit trees, a lot of them. And also to combat climate change, you know, because over time a lot of trees have been cut down in the area. This place was forested. But in, let's say, 20 years since, about 30 years since I got married here, the place actually has had a significant reduction of trees. So yeah, that was one of the main objectives for setting up the Arboretum.
I think the preservation of the flora and fauna was a very important thing because growing up in this place used to have a forest of different indigenous trees, and so seeing some of those no longer there, the idea was to bring them back so that we preserve some of the traditional knowledge that resides within the trees and the plants, and also create the natural environment for birds and the other micro life that existed within the forest ecology. So the idea of bringing back was really very key in our decision to make this an arboretum. The setting up of the Arboretum was an important place because we have seen that the community members come to the Arboretum to learn about trees. Some who have never seen some trees come here. And we also wanted to provide a learning space for young people who come and get to learn about the taxonomy of the place. They learn about the different names of the trees. We also set up the tree nursery as a place where people could source indigenous tree seedlings for their own gardens, and also flowers that people would like to use for the aesthetics.
Like we said, Arboretum KaJok'Oby is actually a learning site. So we have various things. Whereas it's an arboretum, we have also food gardens, and very soon we are also establishing demonstration food gardens where we can have children come and show them where food comes from, because some of them have not had that experience or exposure. So we'd like to incorporate things like a sensory garden that if somebody comes for therapy, they can do aromatherapy, and hence one of our what do you call it, slogan, the tree therapy place, so that when you come here you can experience that forest bathing also.
Yeah, an important learning thing is also like the farming technology. For example, composting is one of the things that we try and demonstrate and teach people how to do. But also, this is permaculture because we're trying to break the mold of monoculture, where people tend to do single crops. We are trying to show the importance of diversity when it comes to planting different plants, and even when it comes to the different trees, the aesthetics of landscaping and how that changes. Because people imagine that landscaping can only be done with flowers. And landscaping, Hilda is very good at doing landscaping with trees and rock gardens,
Yeah.
and different flowers, and
Yeah.
setting up of just a beautiful place.
Well, setting up the Arboretum KaJok'Oby was actually a very interesting experience because, like I mentioned, Seme is very dry. So the one thing, if you want to establish a vegetation dense environment, you have to think about where your water is coming from. So one of the first things we needed to think about is dig up an underground water tank for water harvesting, rainwater harvesting. And then later on, of course, we had to do a borehole because the rainwater harvesting was not sufficient. So just before then, we used to get water from the river. We have a river, small river down there, which is slowly drying. but we had donkeys to go and get water to water the very first initial trees that we planted here. Yeah.
The initial stage of setting up of Arboretum, we were not permanent residents of this place, and therefore we used to come in and out because we were still working out in Nairobi, and that in itself posed quite a bit of a challenge, in the sense that because we were not around all the time, things took much longer to establish with a little level of supervision. Being around here means that you are able to make real-time decisions on things that needed to be done, and also just being able to work on the land with a little bit more precision, and translating our vision to some of the people we're working with took quite a bit, because the idea of setting up an arboretum is kind of new. Many people are used to regular farming, so when you just plant trees, again, people are more used to monoculture, where people just tend to take a piece of land and they put the same kind of trees. So the idea of bringing in trees every time from different places, indigenous trees, having them planted in the right way, took quite a bit of teaching of our local staff, but now they get it. So now when we come in with any tree that we found from somewhere, seedlings, they know how to do it, and so it is thriving, and we believe that that has helped in terms of just passing on the information and knowledge.
Yeah, it's surprising is that you would imagine that this place is probably maybe 20 years old or something, to establish, and this is to encourage people who are thinking of establishing either an arboretum or just doing their landscaping using trees. It takes a very short time, because there's trees that are really fast growing, and the place can become dense within no time. Like even like in 5 years, you can start having like that cool microclimate within your area. So we'd really encourage people to start growing trees.
Well, this is our house, which is very much within the botanical garden or the arboretum, surrounded by different trees and flowers and herbs, and the pitanga cherry, the pots,
Just working these pots.
and our food forest over here with different trees, cashew nut, Pinus patula, the ficus, we've got abla, and we've got our bird watching, our bird bathing feature, where the birds that have now come back into this place find a place where they can bathe and have fun.
Yeah, and here we're just generally developing an ornamental garden. So we have plants that actually flower. So in a short while here we'll have like lots of different flowers, and maybe an attraction. The idea is to have an attraction for birds and also butterflies.
And we've got a couple of medicinal trees around here. We've got things like Prunus africana, we've got African olive, we've got powder puff, we've got the different sennas, and in this place it's just a medley of different trees, including coffee berries, and we planted coffee, which we harvest and crush our own coffee, which we use for our domestic consumption. Then we've got mangoes, and we've got jackfruit, and other non-fruiting trees which are used for health. This is a medicinal one. Yeah.
Goodness, it's
Spread to the birds. The birds are also enjoying it.
The birds are eating.
Yeah. So this one has been enjoyed by the birds. This one here.
The birds eat all these things.
The birds for that, they know the value of this thing because it's highly medicinal. And we've got kabaka jagara. The setting up and running of the Arboretum needs quite a bit of financial outlay, and because it's also part of our home, we have spent quite a substantial amount of money in acquiring the different tree species so that we have the different variety. The other thing that we do in terms of income generating is just selling of the products from the tree nursery and also the fruits and things. But we have also worked with members of the community to support conservation. For example, we have set up forests where people have donated monies, and we have set up the forest for them so that they would like to support conservation but they don't have the time, the place to grow trees, so we can do that for them. But apart from that, we are also trying to get more and more people to pay for coming.
And using the Arboretum for different reasons. So because it's quite an expense, we have a full-time staff who keep the place going. We are constantly planting trees because sometimes others dry up and you have to replace them. So it's an ongoing expense, and it doesn't mean that having reached this level that we are still not putting in finances to keep it going. So we'd like, if you're passionate about trees and that kind of thing, we can establish a forest for you. We can do landscaping for you, So those are the various activities. You can come and buy trees from the nursery, because we are promoting indigenous trees. So those are the various ways in which we try and generate income.
According to the Kenya Forestry Act, individuals are encouraged to establish arboreta, and there's supposed to be actually government support for the establishment of this kind of establishments, but it is not a priority. So it would be quite a bit of a hard sell to get some resources from the Kenya Forestry Service. We haven't gotten any. So far we are contributing towards conservation, and it is a steep price. So any kind of support would be great. If somebody would come, it would be tangible support. We'll grow some trees for you and name the forest after you, like we have done here where we are sitting. Is Magode Forest, named after Magode Kuya from eastern Uganda, a good friend of ours and a lover of trees.
Yeah, and besides financial support, we also would like people who have technical expertise. Some of the trees that we planted, actually, we haven't identified. So we'd like somebody to come and identify them for us, because we would like to name all the trees so that if you come visiting, like each and every tree. So what do you call it, an expert for?
A taxonomist.
Taxonomist, yeah. So
or
yeah,
botanist.
or a botanist. So if you have time to, spend 2 weeks or so to volunteer and just come and support that cause, it will be really, really appreciated.
So the Arboretum welcomes you. Our doors are always open. Welcome. Anytime.
Come and visit us and have a good time, doing tree therapy, aromatherapy, and just enjoying a cool environment.
And very fresh food, fruits. We've got fresh, really organic honey from bees that we keep in our hives. And just a nice serene environment to sit and chill and enjoy.
Karibu sana.
Book a visit online.